Good day mga kaborders!
Wherever you are right now, you're listening to Dorm Meet Stories,
where we dive into chapters in our college life as we face them, talk about them, and spread awareness with our fellow kaborders to actually letting them know they're not alone.
That's right. Now for this podcast, we will be traversing through the lives of college students, their struggles in education. Well, AJ, I have a question for you. How neat can a crumpled paper be?
That's really an interesting question, Thea. A crumpled paper can never really go back to being smooth, but it doesn't really lose its purpose, right? I think that in our college life, that crumpled paper can be an idea, new ideas, new stories, and becoming something new. And we can reflect as a college student to actually, we can give an offer even though we feel crumpled at sometimes.
Exactly. Now, these struggles we go through are what shape us. They might make the paper look less neat, but they also make it unique, with a story to tell. And sometimes it's these imperfections that make something even more meaningful, more beautiful. Just like us students navigating their way through academic life, finding strength in every fold and crease. With that being said, let's welcome our fellow co-boarders for today from the College of Arts and Sciences from the Department of Political Science. Woo!
Hi mga ka-boarders, I am Jetro.
Hi guys, I'm Jessie. I'm Franz. I'm Maribel.
And now, with that being said, I hope you guys are all getting comfortable dyan sa mga higaan nyo ngayon. Kasi we will be getting uncomfortable with questions later on. But first, I want to start off with asking, how are you guys doing right now?
Surviving.
Well, thanks.
For me naman, kinakaya. I think I'm falling apart.
Aww. That's okay, we'll talk about it later.
How about you, Maribel?
Is still alive?
Now, with all of you here in our show right now, I believe there's a reason for you na andito kayo sa Baguio right now. And that's because you're going to college. Tama ba?
Yes.
Okay. If that's so, did your mental health gradually change as a result of the way you handled school in elementary, high school, and senior high school? Like, how's your mental health coping with college right now?
As for me naman, yung mental health ko ngayon, parang it's kinda unstable kasi ang daming happenings in life for it.
So for me, of course, college life is not that easy. And the experiences that I have experienced before when I was in high school and elementary are completely different than what I have right now. So there are times that I am confused and I cannot understand myself.
Totoo. Like, ang hirap. Yung pinagdadaanan natin yung hirap compared sa senior high school.
Yes.
It's a big jump. Kakagulat. Ikaw naman, Franz.
Ako naman, parang naiisip ko every time na nandito ako sa Baguio, this is not me. Kasi when I was in high school, junior high school, I was a top student, but when I enter college, I'm just barely surviving. I don't know what's happening in my life. There's a lot of happenings. And
It's really a different environment, no? How about you, Maribel?
For me, sabi nga ni Jet, it's ang different ng elementary and high school. And dito mo ma-face yung experience na hawak-hawak mo yung pressure kung what if bagsak ka? And what if hindi mo nagawa? Parang hindi ka na satisfied sa gagawin mo. Or anong result na mangyayari sa bawat decision sa araw-araw na pagsubok.
So, dun sa mga experience na yun, paano naman what is your coping mechanism to actually face it and to actually overcome the challenges na meron kayo ngayon?
Hirap eh, overwhelming kasi lahat.
So, like, ikaw, Jetro, like, ano yung coping mechanism mo to just distract yourself from schoolworks or studies?
So for me, I just focus on what I can do. Because if you look at the reality, we have to be practical and we can only do what are the things that are within our capacity. And with that, yun, parang hindi ko siya hinahayaan na kainin ako ng mga naka-overwhelming pressures, like that. Because if you're going to let yourself be in by those pressures, then you cannot do anything at all. So you have to be strong, maybe, and you have to focus on your goals.
So, ikaw naman, friends, paano yung coping mechanism mo, as you stated earlier nga na you're a top student during your high school, during high school and senior high school, right? But right now in college, that you stated earlier that you are actually on the verge of breaking apart, then what is your coping mechanism to actually overcome the challenge that you're facing right now?
Actually, my coping mechanism is, I'm, nag-isolate ako mag-isa. And kahit yung family ko is hindi ko nakakausap, ganyan. Pero,
Okay lang yun.
Tissue!
Ayaw ko na may tissue.
even though nandiyan kayo mga ka-borders ko, ganyan. Parang ang hirap pa din para sa akin kasi super dami nga nangyayari sa buhay ko ngayon. Tapos, wala, feel ko sa pag-isolate ko, nagiging okay ako. Kahit pakiramdam ko, lalo ako nagpa-fall apart. Parang hindi ko kayang i-drag kayo pababa with me. Kasi, especially sa studies, kasi andyan naman kayo, pero parang ako, I'm being left out kapag nag-aaral kasi hindi ako makafocus.
Sa totoo nga na iba talaga yung, kumbaga hindi mo kayang i-disapart yung sa sarili mo sa pag-aaral tsaka sa life problems mo nga. As we stated earlier na we need to face it and actually we need to overcome it. And for Jassy naman kasi kanina, you stated na parang, kinakaya pa naman yung buhay sa college. And sa way na kinakaya mo yung buhay ng college is, paano naman yung coping mechanism mo to actually go through your day, go through the months, or day in our classes, gano'n?
Actually, for me, this past few weeks kasi, especially last month, yung sabi ko kanina, life has been challenging recently. And then, one of my coping mechanism is to let myself to feel that pain until it doesn't hurt anymore. Diba? Sabi nila, you just have to embrace the pain. Yakapin mo yung pain until it hurts no more. Tapos, for me kasi, there were lots of challenges na naharap ko talaga as an individual without my parents knowing or my family. So, parang ako lang, myself lang yung nakakaalam. Parang kumbaga, diba, there's this kasabihan na ang pinaka mahirap na kalaban is yung sarili mo. And dumating ako doon sa point na parang hinahayaan ko yung sarili kong mag-fall apart din. Pero one time, parang masyado na akong na-overwhelm, masyado na akong napapagod. Tapos, I even consulted yung professionals na nagpa-sched na ako for a psychiatrist kasi hindi ko na kaya. Tapos, ay natatry ko ng, like, super down talaga ng life. Recently, na-harm ko na yung sarili ko. Basta ang dami nangyari sa akin recently. Pero, ang sabi ko sa sarili ko, hindi pwedeng forever andito ako sa sitwasyon na to. So, I need to stand up for myself. Kasi, sino namang magbabawan sa akin kahit anyan kay mga ka-borders ko, di ba? Hindi niya ako matutulungan. Ang makakatulong lang sa sarili ko is myself only. So, I have to bumangon para sa sarili ko. And one of my coping mechanism then is yung dog ko sa house. Yun, nagiging help sa akin. Kasi mag-isa lang ako, di ba? Kayo din naman dito sa mag-isa lang, ganun. So, parang kailangan mo ng company, ganun. So, yun.
Totoo. Kasi when you allow yourself to feel these emotions, even if it prolongs, it's one way of accepting na this happened na eh.
Yes. You just have to accept the fact and face the, lesson, consequences for you to grow.
Ikaw naman, man.
For me, sabi nga nila, embrace mo yung pain na nararamdaman mo. It's okay na magpahinga kung pagod ka. Basta wag ka lang sumuko. Kasi we have a dream na i-achieve pa natin in the future. And wag dapat na mag-stay sa isang bagay na negative kasi hihilain ka yan pababa. So, dapat, kung nafe-feel mo yan, go. Kasi kinabukasan, pero okay. Kasi walang magagawa. Kasi yun, kung self mo, tutulungan mo. Kasi ito lang yung pinaka-the best na mangyayari sa buhay mo. Kasi walang pakialam yung mga iba dyan. Walang pakialam sila. Basta yung sarili mo lang yung kakampi mo.
Exactly. Now, Jetro, mentioned earlier na you were experiencing pressure.
Yes.
So my next question is, where do you think these pressures come from? Personal experiences to. Jetro.
It's hard actually. First, The primary pressure is, of course, myself. Because I am an achiever and I'm not sure if I'm still right now. But when you see it in my perspective kasi, you will be pressured na I have achieved all of this. So I should not fail on my next journey. Because people will see me as a loser if I will fail. Kasi as for me na parang sa academics umikot yung buhay ko, pag pumalpak ako sa academics, anong silbi ko sa other aspects? So that's isang pressure yon, myself and then the society. But from my family, luckily they are not that pressuring me. But when I was a child kasi, si mama, she does not intend to pressure me but she's showing the pressure. So from grade 1 to grade 3, kailangan kong ipakita lahat perfect score, ganyan. Until one time na merong nung grade 3 kasi, 6/10 yung nakuha ko. Mataas pa naman siya kung college perspective. Pero syempre, nung titignan mo kasi yung that time, parang that's my first experience na
Makipagsak.
parang ganun.
Mababa.
Then, in that time, I cried. Sinabi pa yung mama na ganito. Tapos, sabi niya sa akin na I should not think about that. Na parang I should move on. Then, by that time, dun ko na-realize na the pressure is not from my mother, but from myself. And until then, yun yung naging drive ko to be more an achiever student, parang ganyan. Until now, that pressure is still within me.
Sinong next? Franz.
The pressures come from my family. Especially si tita ko yung nagkaparal sa akin. And si ate ko kasi, nag-aaral siya sa SLU. She's an intern na sa BGH Caltech. And lagi lang sasabi, si ate mo nga hindi bumabagsak. 4th year na siya. Hindi pa siya trisem. Bakit ikaw ang baba ng grades mo? Ganyan. Kasi,
Go on.
di ba nga sabi ko nung mga last year, parang barely surviving na lang talaga ako. Hindi ko kayang sabihin sa family ko. Kasi, lagi nila ako nako-compare kay ate ko. Ganun.
Hindi talaga may iwasan na, alam mo yun, na i-compare ka sa ibang tao even though that we know or our parents know that we have different capabilities when it comes to studying. And for our next guest, let me ask Jassy na, where pressure coming from on your end?
For me, pinaka primary din talaga na nakaka-pressure sa akin is yung sarili ko. Kasi, parang, sarili ko and actually my family. Kasi in the first place kasi, before ako nag-Baguio City, nag-take ako ng entrance exam sa Manila, sa UST. Kasi yung UST, dream school ko siya, and yung sister ko, doon kasi siya nag-med school. Ano na siya, medtech na siya, pero doon na siya nag-med school. Tapos, tawag dito, nung nakapasa ako ng UST, I asked my parents kung saan ba talaga ako. Pero, even doon naman parang sa family kasi namin, parang may kaya, ganun. Pero, I asked my parents first kung pwede bang magbago na lang ako para malasan din yung gastos kahit papaano. Kasi ayokong sumabay kila ate, kila kuya, even though may kaya, ganun. So, pinili ko din yung Baguio kasi mas less yung gastos sa pamumuhay dito sa Baguio, sa schools, ganyan. Tapos, nung andito na ako sa Baguio, nung inayos ko na yung papers ko here sa Baguio, parang nape-pressure ako sa parents ko kasi sinasabi nila sa akin na mag-Manila ka na lang, o di okay, nag-entrance exam ako sa UST, nakapasa ako, tapos biglang mag-Baguio ka na lang, tapos biglang Baguio naman ako, tapos biglang, okay, Manila ka na lang kasi doon sa atin mo, tapos biglang, ganun yung cycle pa ulit-ulit, tapos ako nape-pressure na ako na, para saan ba talaga ako? What's my purpose talaga? And what do I really want back? Ganun. Parang, it's really hard for me before ako makapag-enter ng Baguio City. Kasi, Baguio City is beautiful. I love the weather, the place, ganyan. And then, nung andito na ako sa Baguio, parang, yung parents ko sabi nila, edi maganda, okay na ako, maganda dyan pala, ganyan na, okay ka pala dyan nag-aaral. Not until college days, during exams, ganyan. Parang, parang every time na tumatawag ako kila Papa, ang hirap dito. And I was crying sa phone. And then, sinasabi nila sa akin, pinili mo yan, so you have no choice. Gumagano sila, bakit yung sister mo, ganyan. Eh, di sana nag-doktor ka na lang dito sa Manila. Eh, di sana ganyan lang, ba't hindi mo gayahin sa ate mo, ganyan. So, yung pressure sa family, and at the same time, yung pressure sa sarili mo. Kasi parang, you want for yourself yung best. Pero at the same time, parang it's really hard to achieve that best kapag nahihirapan ka na. Kasi hindi mo naman alam kung anong mangyayari sa buhay mo or within that day or next day, ganun. Parang yun nga, sabi ni Franz kanina, barely surviving din, ganun. Pero sabi ko din kanina, kinakaya at alam kong kakayanan.
Yun din yung mahirap here sa Filipino culture. Ang hirap iwasan yung mga times na i-compare nila kayo sa mga sister mo, sa mga friends mo. So, it's up to us, syempre, to break that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Ikaw, Maribel, saan nanggagaling pressure mo?
For me, sa course ko. Kasi, yung papa ko is, ito talaga yung gusto niya. But for me, hindi ito yung gusto ko. And parang wala akong sariling desisyon para makamit yung course na gusto ko.
Ano ba yung gusto mo?
Ang gusto ko is HRM. So,
Mm.
sabi niya, if hindi ako kukuha ng pol-sci or lawyer, hindi na lang ako mag-aral. So, I need to kunin yung pol-sci. And I think napipressure ako sa course na to kasi hindi ko alam kung kakayanin ko kung hanggang sa dulo. Hindi ko alam kung okay pa ba or satisfied pa ba ako sa ginagawa ko, kung masaya pa ba ako. Parang kumigising na lang ako araw-araw na pasok, wala lang, pasok. Parang wala ka lang nararamdaman.
In our Philippine culture kasi is, alam mo yung parents' decision matters when you're in your college. Hindi mo talaga kayang ibigay or mamili ng program na gusto mo. Ang pangit lang nun, kasi nga, hindi mo gusto yung program, pero kailangan mong tiisin para sa magulang.
Alright.
So, with that being said, na yung mga pressure nyo na kung saan nanggagaling, and it leads me to my next question. How you deal with it? Yung sa pressure na meron kayo sa magulang, sa sarili nyo, paano nyo in-overcome yung pressure na nanggagaling sa sarili nyo. Ikaw, Jetro, kasi sabi mo kanina is galing sa sarili mo. Paano mo siya dinideal?
So first, actually I cannot specify how am I dealing with it. Kasi nasabi ko yan kanina na degree na parang yung pressure na nagagaling sa akin and sometimes I cannot understand myself. So parang attack siya from mental health aspect plus pressure aspect at the same time. So for me, how I'm dealing with it, it's about prayers. If you cannot do it alone, then kung walang ibang tao dyan, then you can derive it from other forces. As for me, I believe in Him. Sobrang busy ng papalapit na yung exam, then meron pang duties sa church. That's my coping mechanism. Kasi dun ko nahanap yung peace. And of course, dun ko parang nararamdaman na I'm still alive. Na kahit ganun yung mga naranasan ko, school runs and all, I still have a purpose to fulfill. And that is what makes life more like fulfilling. Na kahit achiever ka, you have to find something that you will consider as your next purpose, your priority, like that. And church is the coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm. So, si Maribel yung gusto kong tanongin ngayon na syempre, sabi mo nga kanina, hindi mo gusto yung program na meron ka currently. And syempre yung pressure na yun is galing talaga sa family mo, lalo na sa tatay mo. And how you actually dealing with it, ano yung ginagawa mo para lang magkaroon ka ng motivation to actually go through your day?
Actually, nung nag-start ng klase, sabi ko, mamahalin ko yung course na ito. Kasi nga, andito na ako, matapos mo ko. So, bawat araw, syempre may nakakagalala ko mga kaibigan. And yung support na binibigay niyo or binibigay nila is na nako-fall yung nararamdaman ko. And for me, tsaka rin sa mga pamilya, kinasupport naman na nila ako dito. Accept na lang ang ginawa ko.
Ang tanong, mahal mo na yung program mo ngayon?
Oo.
Nice one. Ang galing.
So let's go with Fran.
Ako wala, tinutulog ko lang. Pero yung pagtulog ko is kasi minsan hindi na ako kumakain. Lalo na wala akong mapagsabihan. Kasi close kami ni ate ko. Pero lately kasi hindi kami okay. yung family problem kasi namin, ganyan. Parang, parang, hindi na rin kami nakakapag-usap ng maayos. Lagi lang ako natutulog. Nasa isang kwarto kasi kami. Pero lately, sa labas siya natutulog kasi parang ayaw namin magkita, ayaw namin mag-usap, gano'n. Kaya ako, hindi ako kumakain, siya kakain siya sa labas. Ako matutulog, ako na matutulog. Minsan nga, hindi ko na namamalayan yung oras. Nakatulog na pala ako, gano'n. Tapos, wala, hindi ko na alam ang nangyayari sa akin. Naguguluhan na din ako. Kaya, tulog lang. Kasi doon lang ako nakakuha ng lakas.
For me naman, siguro, parang in-accept ko na lang din sa sarili ko na I have to get through this. Tapos, one time kasi, nagpa-consult ako sa parents ko. Actually, nag-away kami ng dad ko nun. Tapos, parang nagsumbatan kami kasi pinipilit nila ako. Ganun. Sa course na to, at here sa Baguio. Tapos, at the same time, pinapalipat nila ako ng Manila. Tapos, sabi ko gan kay Papa, bakit ba kino-compare niyo kay ate? Magkaiba kami ni ate. Yan yung gusto ni ate. Iba yung gusto ko. Tapos yun parang, sa usapan namin na yun ni Papa na kahit parang super away. Parang after that day, naging okay na din. Tapos inaccept na lang din nila na ganyan pala yung nafe-feel mo. Ganun. Kaya sabi ko, parang you just have to let yourself and let other people know kung ano talaga yung nafe-feel mo. Kasi kapag parang kinip mo lang sa sarili mo yung nafe-feel mo, parang paano nila malalaman kung ano ba talaga yung nafe-feel mo inside your heart and your mind kung hindi mo i-voice out yung nafe-feel mo. And even though kapag parang in the first place, may masasaktan ka, may masasabi kang hindi maganda, pero at the same time, nasabi mo kung ano yung nafe-feel mo para maintindihan nila. Pag may nasabi ka sa parents mo na parang masakit, mag-sorry ka na lang, ganun. Pero, syempre, at least naintindihan nila kung ano yung situation mo dahil dun sa argument na yun.
Gusto ko itong i-comment dun kasi it takes a lot of courage to actually confront your parents or anyone.
And when I confronted my parents, gusto nila akong ipa-stop ng studies, ayaw nila akong ipa-accept, parang ayaw nilang ipa-access sa akin yung mga motor sa house, yung phones ko, kinukuha, kinikip nila. Nag-isolate ako nun, and I was depressed that time. Pero, nung parang nakikita nila na ganito na ako, sila na din yung mismong lumapit sa akin. Ganun. Tapos sabi ko sa kanila, Ma, it takes a lot of courage to say you this. Sabi ko ganun. Pero, pwede bang yung support system sana na nanggagaling sa inyo, pwede bang ma-feel ko? Sabi ko ganun. Tapos yun, naintindahan naman nila ako. Tapos luckily, so, mas naging better na siya.
Just like what I stated earlier, it does ends with us kasi yun yung na-exemplify ni Jassy. And I think we can all do that, especially with your situation, Maribel, kay friends. Especially kasi nagagaling yung pressure from your family eh. Kaya, I think with that confrontation with your family, it would really help sa pagiging progressive nila. Kasi, hindi rin naman nila kasalanan in the beginning kung bakit ganun sila. Kasi it's because of their environment kung saan they also grew up in. So, na-mention nyo na yung pressure na nagagaling sa academics, sa family, from yourself. For you, do you think may correlation yung workload tas ang pressure? Friends.
Actually, oo. Kasi, di ba, kapag nag-start na yung weeks natin, marami tayong binabasa. Pressure ako. Hindi ko nakakausap yung parents ko. Ako kasi, uwi sa province namin. Which is, lately napansin ko hindi maganda. Kasi, kahit malapit lang yung province namin, kapag nasa baba ako, parang, I feel so free. Parang wala akong iniisip na kailangan ko mag-aral, ganyan. Pero kapag dating ko ng Baguio, tatawagin ako ni Papa, kamusta yung pag-aaral mo, ganyan. Sabi ko, wala pa, wait lang, marami pa akong binabasa, marami akong hahabulin. Sabihin pa ako. Ay, hindi niya sinasabi directly sa akin. Sabi niya kay Mama, yung anak mo, uwi kasi ng uwi dito. Hindi siya nakakapag-aral, hindi siya nakakapag-focus ng mabuti. Pagsabihan mo yung anak mo na wag na muna umuwi dito. Pero para sa akin, masakit siya. Kasi, doon ako nakakakuha ng lakas sa pag-uwi ko. Kasi, ang hirap mag-isa sa Baguio, kahit nandyan si ate ko, I feel so alone. Kasi lagi nandyan yung boyfriend niya, lagi silang magkasama. Tapos ako wala, mag-isa lang ako. Parang, Hindi, nakakalungkot kasi sanay akong dalawa kami ni ate ko, pero habang tumatagal, parang lalo siyang lumalayo.
Ikaw, Maribel, lalo na you started to love your course.
Parang like, ano ko kasi it's my, parang first time mong natatanggap yung pagka-workload. And yung pressure is nagko-conflict sila. Kumbaga, dumagdag pa sa isipin mo and problem mo. Parang hinihila ka niya pababa. Kumbaga, andun na yung anxiety, yung depression. Yung parang, di mo alam na nasasaktan mo pala yung sarili mo, hindi lang emotional, pati physical. And I think, sabi nga ni Franz, even na may kasama ka dito sa Baguio, is parang nafe-feel mo ang lonely mo. Kasi nga, sarili mo lang yung kasama mo. And for me, parang ang bigat yun, ang hirap labanan sa bawat araw na araw. But thankfully, I've been si God para pagsabihan ng mga problems.
How about you, Jethro?
For me, it's always a battle against time. Kasi nga, when workloads are there, plus may priorities sa church, and for myself as well, paano mo yun i-juggle? How will you juggle those responsibilities, those priorities that you have? So of course, you have to manage your time well, because if you're not going to do so, then you will be defeated by those workloads, and it will really affect all aspects of your life. That is why I am trying as much as I can, kahit na 2 to 3 hours lang yung tulog araw-araw, basta magawa lahat ng activities, lahat ng projects, basta makabuhat, kakayanin.
For me naman, syempre, workload yun eh, ang dami nating inaaral. Syempre, as a qualified student, di ba? Tapos parang minsan, pumapasok sa isip ko na lang na kailangan ko tong gawin. Ganun. Kasi there were times na yung mga readings mo, nasa harapan mo, pero okay, nagbabasa ka, pero wala na-retain sa utak mo, right? It's very normal na ganun kasi hindi naman always naiintindihan natin yung topics, ganun. Kailangan mo lang magbigay din talaga ng time sa inaaral mo, ganun. And it's very difficult for me kasi yun nga, unstable lately. Pero iniisip ko siya, nilalagay ko sa mindset ko na, kailangan ko itong aralin. Ang daming readings, pero paano pa kaya sa law school, di ba? So yun yung iniisip ko. So, wala akong choice. Kakayanin ko to kasi mas mahirap pa sa law school. Yun din yung nilook forward ko. Parang isinaset ko sa mindset ko na kailangan ko gawin to, kailangan ganun. Just have to motivate yourself.
So, dun sa mga tala dito, kung ano yung correlation ng pressure and workload. So, do you think yung workload nyo as a student currently, is it too much to handle? Kasi nga, palapit na naman next some week, and is it too much to handle for you guys?
Yes, of course. Obviously.
Yes. Hindi mo naman masisisi.
It's true that it is out of our control na marami tayong workloads. And it's actually parang dumadagdag din siya sa pressure na kailangan natin i-accomplish by the specific given time to us, by our professors, di ba? And with that, let's go to the idea of living here in Baguio alone and the independence life of you guys that having your currently right now. So, from living with your parents to living here in Baguio, how is it branching off to pursue your education in a totally new environment, and how you dealing it with a common reality? Siyempre, di ba, iba yung environment nyo sa baba or sa municipality kung saan kayo nagaling, and this is a city. And how can you guys actually handle things within the city ideals? How about you, Jethro?
So for me, it's really strange na kailangan ko maging independent from now on. Kasi before, nung elementary to high school, my environment is for me just like a comfort zone for me. Parang yung mga nakikita ko, alam kong safe ako doon kahit na hindi ako sa bahay. For example, kahit nasa school, that's a safe place for me. That's what I thought. Pero nung nasa college na, I have to devise my own plan so that I can survive. Because hindi naman lahat parang pwede mo pang itanong sa nanay at tatay mo. You have to think of a way para in order for you to achieve those goals that you have, to overcome the challenges that you are facing. Because if you're not going to realize that you are independent from now on, you will try to look for comfort and you will rely to other people. And with that will develop vulnerability, weakness as to how you are going to deal with your problems.
So, si Maribel ang gusto kong tanungin kasi nga, syempre malapit siya sa magulang niya and how she turned out na she's taking up political science instead of HRM. So, ngayon na you're a pol-sci student and living alone here in Baguio, paano mo na-manage yung pagiging independent mo na tao or estudyante?
Actually, katakot mag-isa, diba? Kasi sabi nga ni Jet kanina, nasanay tayo na andyan yung mga parents natin para mag-alalay sa atin. But once na pumunta tayo dito, kasi andito tayo, kasi nag-aaral tayo, wala tayong choice kundi mabuhay.
May choice naman tayo.
Hindi tayo magalaw, mamamatay tayo sa gutom. Choice. Basta, for me, kapag first time mo kasi na-experience ito is parang naninibago pa. Kasi for me, noon that time is natatakot ako. Tinatawagan ko pa sila Destiny para matulog lang sa dorm ko noon. Kasi nga, hindi ako sanay. Kumbaga sabi ko nga, andito ako, gagawin ko to para sa dream ko. Hindi ko naman to pinagawa para sa iba. Kumbaga pinagawa ko to para sa sarili ko. And ito yung nagiging prize or motivation ko para labanan yung anumang nangyayari sa paligid natin. Kasi maraming mga nangyayari sa paligid natin na hindi natin na nalalabanan. Kumbaga, andyan na lang yung problem.
Ikaw naman, friends.
Ako kasi, hindi naman ako totally lumaki sa parents ko. So, parang doon ako nasanay mag-isolate mag-isa. Lagi ko naiisip, si papa ko, andyan para kay ate ko. Si mama ko, nandyan para sa bunsong kapatid ko. So, ako, lagi ko naisip, paano ako? Sino yung nandun para sa akin? Kasi nag-away kami one time ni Papa, alam ni Jetro yan. Tapos sinabi ko kay Papa. Sabi sa akin ni Papa, sinusuportahan ko si ate mo kasi alam kong hindi niya kaya. Ikaw alam kong kaya mo. Pero sabi ko, Pa, kasi wala naman akong choice kundi kayanin. The whole time, mag-isa ako and wala kayo para sa akin. Parang gano'n. So, dahil lang siguro, kaya natuto ako mag-isa, kaya ko yung sarili ko, ganyan. Eh, hindi rin kasi ako sanay magsabi sa friends ko, ganyan. Kasi ayoko maging burden. Tapos, feel ko lang na kaya ko to. Lagi kong minomotivate yung sarili ko. Kaya ko to, malalagpasan ko to. Kaya ko to mag-isa. Parang ganun lang.
For me naman, ako kasi yung bunso sa aming 4 na magkakapatid. Siyempre, sa bunso, ako yung huling naiwan sa bahay. Tapos, yun nga, di ba, kina-compare, ganun. So, naging very distance ako sa parents ko. Sabi ko, kailangan ko mag-step out sa comfort zone ko for me to grow as an individual. Ganun. Tapos yun, nag-aral ako ng Dagupan, doon ako natuto, mag-isa. Kaya, nung andito na ako nun sa Baguio, parang, hindi na bago sa akin na mag-isa dito. Hindi na naging mahirap sa akin kasi gusto ko mag-isa. Ganon. Mas na-feel ko yung sarili ko at mas parang hinayaan ko yung sarili ko na makaharap ng mga parang tao, other people, to interact with, ganon. Kasi during my days, senior high school days in Dagupan, yung pag-interact ko with other people, ang dami kong natututunan sa sarili ko. Naging mas okay dito sa Baguio nung lumipat na ako. Kasi medyo nasanay ako dun sa place.
Hearing all your experiences, gusto ko muna marinig yung sagot ni Maritel. So, yung question ko kasi, ano yung advice na may bibigay mo sa college students na gusto mag-aral out of their province or basically ng phone you different?
For me, i-ready mo yung sarili mo. Kasi iba yung ma-experience mo dito at ma-experience mo sa family mo. And dapat maging positive ka and dapat maging malakas ka sa bawat araw-araw. Kasi hindi araw-araw ay malakas ka. May mga times na mapupunta tayo sa situation na mapapagod tayo, masasaktan at parang doon yung point na mababalin ka. And for me, labanan mo to and maging masaya ka lang sa araw-araw.
So, sabi nga ni Maribel kanina na you need to ready yourself to actually what can be happen if you actually go throughout your through a different places. So, how about you, Jetro? What advice can you give to future college student or incoming college student na mag-aaral sa ibang mga lugar?
So, first of all, tibayan mo yung sigura mo. Because there are a lot of challenges that only you can solve. You cannot depend on other people. As I have said earlier, we have to be independent. Tapos, when time comes na kailangan mong may kausap, you should not isolate yourself. Parang yung kay friends kanina. Isolation is not the best way on how to solve your problems. You can tap one of your friends, probably tell them that this is what you're feeling so that they can also know kung ano rin ang nangyayari sa'yo, yung hindi sila clueless sa kung anong nangyayari, so that they don't jump into conclusions na, ay, wait, ganito, something's happening with our friendship like that. And going back to the question, sa mga students, sa mga ka-boarders natin na magbabagyong city, you have to bring a lot of jacket. What I mean is that you have to gather inspiration sa baba. Kasi dun mo mahahanap yung init. Yun yung panlaban mo sa lamig sa Baguio. You have to hold on to those inspiration, those happy stories. Kasi in times na very humid na ang Baguio, you will realize that you will need those warmth from your experiences. You have to hold on to that kasi this is a one-way journey, and you have to realize na yung mga pinagdadaanan mo right now might be used as your weapon sa mga pagdadaanan mo in the future.
Ikaw naman, Jassy, like, syempre, nag-struggle ka din kung anong university ang pipiliin mo. You're going back and forth from Manila to Baguio, and like, on that end, what advice can you give to incoming freshmen that will study in Manila or in Baguio or other places?
Ang ma-advise ko lang is, we all know naman na wala tayo, we can have that control and everything na nangyayari sa atin. So, inisip ko, maybe may reason si Lord bakit nangyayari sa atin yung mga bagay na to. And, aware tayo na, dapat mag-aware tayo na mahirap lang yan sa una. And, hindi escape yung solution. You have to fight for it. You have to fight. And, it's okay to not be okay. Ganun. And, kahit naman maging okay ka or hindi, parang hindi doon titigil yung buhay mo. And, dapat, laban lang ng laban. Ganun. Tapos, last praise for me is, God knows what our needs are and what we don't. And hindi ibig sabihin titigil yung buhay natin kapag nakakapag-experience tayo ng mga problems in life. So, maybe yun, God just want us to be focused. Kaya, we just have to fight for it. Mag-strive lang tayo. Small progress is still a progress. That's it.
So, for friends, you stated earlier kasi, sinabi mo din kanina, kunento mo na alam mo yung coping mechanism mo is yung uwi ka sa baba para lang ma-relieve yung mga gagawin dito sa Baguio. And on that is, what advice can you give to future students na mag-aaral dito sa Baguio?
For me, wag niyong gawin yung ginagawa ko. And kasi parang masasanay kang gusto kong bumaba na miss ko yung family ko. Parang ganon. And ang isang advice ko is choose your friends talaga. And I'm lucky na sila yung naging friends ko kasi nandyan sila para i-guide ako sa mga decision ko sa buhay. Kahit wala silang control sa buhay ko, nandyan sila, uy ate, huwag kang ganyan, mali yan, mag-aral tayo, ganyan. Yun yung nagiging, lalo na first year, di ba?
Yeah.
Kahit ang gastos namin, magkakape kami, mag-aaral kami. Dahil din doon nasa survive namin yung college life namin.
Iba talaga yung dulot or influence of the circles that you will choose in college, right?
With that being said, now that we have went through the mental health, pressure, workloads, independence, financial struggles, and yung pag-balance ng academic and social life ng mga dear co-boarders natin, I want to ask all of you, our dear co-boarders, how neat can a crumpled paper be?